Hey, VC here. So today we're talking about how fast I can get on a time trial bike with 3 weeks notice. This video is going to be a little more analytical, dive into the program and exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And so we're going to go day by day over essentially 3 weeks. But why I'm doing this is that last year in 2018, I went into the Chico Stage Races time trial with the yellow jersey. I had the yellow jersey going in. If I was better on a time trial bike, I might have been able to win that stage race. So I went into the Madera stage race this year, same scenario, grabbed Chris Kane's time trial bike, like literally pulled it out of a car and I'm rolling it up to the start line. So no fit, nothing. And I did 26 miles an hour average. Not great, but not as bad as like 25, which I think is what I did last year at the Chico stage race. I think I did just like low 25 mile an hour average, which is not good. So from the Madera stage race, right, that's where our baseline is. Essentially 26 miles an hour average speed over a 10-mile course. It's honestly only 2 weeks of really time trial specific training because the third week is kind of getting ready for the stage race and including the stage race itself. Okay, and so now I'm gonna look at my phone because I have my training peaks, like what I was prescribed to do, and then I kind of have the notes on what I actually did. All right, so day one, setting up the rig, right? So I get the time trial bike and I start trying to fit it to me. Now it's a medium. It's too small for me. The bike doesn't fit, but I don't have one. I'm borrowing one. Chris is amazing to allow me to borrow it. He has an amazing disc wheel, and it's a friggin' amazing machine, dude. It's electronic shifting, but it is way too small. So I really had to extend the bars as far out as possible and push the seat back as far as possible. Again, what was really nice though with Zwift, having it stationary, is that I could pedal for a little while and then change, like make all these adjustments, right there in my house. But so after I got it set up, my actual first workout was 40-20s. Just like a horrible workout. 40 seconds full gas, 20 seconds off, or like coasting. I was prescribed 4 sets 5 times. Ugh. Like my power is so much less on the time trial bike. 300 watts for 20 minutes on the time trial bike. Like I can't do that currently day one. As of where I could probably do 350 on the road bike. Day 2 had me doing a threshold workout on the time trial bike. So essentially 2 20-minute sessions at threshold. But again, my threshold for the road bike and my threshold for the TT is completely different. So the first set, I did okay. But then the second set, you can see my power just drizzling off because, dude, I don't know why it's like this, but the power in the TT position is so difficult to hold. So essentially I was holding more than I could the first time and blew myself out the second time. Day 2 also had me trying to find a place to put my balls. I had no clue where to put them. It's very uncomfortable to sit in a TT position for an extended period of time. Day 3 had me doing attacking during intervals. I ended up actually only doing half the workout. I did some intervals and then I did a race. So I did some of the attacking intervals and then just jumped right into a race. Now, during the intervals or the workout, I'm trying to hold TT position. In the race, I'm really not, right? I'm kind of up on the hoods, if you will. But still, no matter how I'm positioned, just being on the time trial bike is important. Day 4 had me off the bike, no riding. And this is where I started to try to incorporate some stretching and some yoga because my core is so weak and my body's ability to be efficient in this like very uncomfortable position was not good. So I really tried to focus on stretching, and I pretty much did this almost every day, where I did some lunges and some kind of warrior poses to really stretch out my hamstrings and my hip flexors, which I would say might have been the biggest improvement. It's just being able to get my body to be more comfortable in that aero position. Day 5 had me doing some more bike adjustments. Again, really trying to find a comfortable position, changing like where my forearm pads are and the seat. After some bike adjustments, I did some attacking during intervals. So you begin each interval with a 20-second attack at 150% FTP, settle into 110% FTP for 2 minutes, and then 1 minute recover. So, but 20 seconds like really hard, and then 2 minutes decently hard. You're supposed to do that 4 times with 4 sets of that. The 4th set was not good for me. So my coach puts in this stuff to Training Peaks. When I get on Zwift, it automatically loads the workout. So it's extremely motivating to see everything. Like all I have to do is just stare at that number and keep the number green, right? That's it. And it gamifies it. So it's like so much easier to do workouts on Zwift, especially in the TT position, than out on the real road. And I'm going to get into this more, but like as I'm not comfortable on this bike, going hypoxic on the real road in an awkward position on a bike I'm not used to, dude, that's probably not very safe, right? Day 6 had a 100 plus 1 mile road ride out on the real road. 6 hours to go 101 miles. I was just going easy, just going chill. Wasn't a big deal, right? I ended up going, and I think I rode down and met up with a group, and then kind of rode back home, got a little extra miles. Anyway, I need some volume because the road race during the stage races is big, right? And so I need to get some of this volume in it, and I can't just only ride the TT bike. So day 6 had me back on the road bike, on the real road, going big. Day 7 also had me on the real road for the first time on the TT bike. 3 efforts at threshold is a little bit difficult to hold that the whole time, but during one of the efforts, I think I snagged a KOM, which is not really super fair because like I'm on this super speed machine, so maybe that KOM shouldn't count, but I destroyed it at way less power than I had done previous on that segment. 2 hours though on the TT bike in the TT position. Day 7 kind of has me feeling a little more comfortable in that position. Day 8, day off, and this is more yoga and stretching, really trying to open up those hip flexors and just, I don't know, also work on my core because holding that TT position is difficult. Day 9 was actually really interesting because this was a practice race. My local Fresno cycling club puts on a time trial during the summer once a month. And so I was really eager to use this as a base point. What power am I holding and what mile per hour does that get me? I tried to use this day is warm up the same exact way I would for the Chico stage race, wear all the same things, like go through the whole exact program. Frustratingly, my power pedals stopped working. It was like I had 0 metrics. I had to go completely off feel or just like speed. So I was looking at my average speed, right? But the course is an out and back. So I think I had a huge, a great top speed or average speed going out. But then in the turnaround, there was like a huge truck coming. So I had to like almost come to a complete stop and wait for this truck. On the way back, you know, my average speed was kind of plummeting. Towards the very end though, I sort of got into a good groove and I nailed 27 miles an hour average over the 10-mile course, which I think got me 2nd or 3rd out of the event. But dude, 27, I was blown away. Like I was at 26.9 and I could see the finish and I was just going as hard as I could. I had no clue what I was doing power-wise. It was just blowing my face off. And then like right as I clicked across the finish, it was like 27.0. It's like, yes, dude, that's the best I've ever done, right? I've done 24 mile an hour average time trials before. Okay, so I'm not good at it. Essentially 9 days and I went from 26 mile an hour average to 27. Whoa. But Here's the problem is that I have no idea what power I held. So going into the actual race, like there's no, okay, if I hold 330, which I know I can do for 10 miles, that this is gonna equate in that. Day 10 has me doing, he prescribed recovery with sprints. I did a Zwift race instead. Dude, sometimes the motivation to train is not there. But with Zwift racing, I don't know, I can always jump into a race. It's so easy to do an hour race, right? And you can't do too many of them because you kind of blow yourself up. But like, I ended up doing a Zwift race just because that's what I could mentally get on board with. I didn't want to do recovery with sprints. I wasn't going to end up doing that for an hour. So instead, I did a Zwift race. Day 11 has me doing 40-20s, which, right, they're so hard. They're impossible to do in the TT position, which I wasn't doing. I was out of the saddle sprinting and then kind of trying to recover and do the rest of the ride in the TT position. He had me prescribed for 5 sets of 4 40-20 efforts. I only did 4 of them. I was no longer able to hold the power, right? Dude, I have nothing in my legs. Nothing, dude. And that's the whole thing with intervals, is that, dude, if I'm doing 200 watts in the on effort, like that's not an interval. I'm not making any adaptations. I need to be hitting the prescribed watts. So if I can't do that, I'm just gonna end the workout. Day 12 has a day off. I just went walking with the family and then more yoga and stuff, but walking with the family was nice. Day 13 has 90-second VO2 with microbursts. Essentially, I did half of this workout and then I did a race. Again, I really like doing races on Zwift, just mentally. It's so much easier. But so I figured I would do the first part of the workout and then with like the microbursts, that's essentially what I'm gonna do in a race anyway. So I kind of split that up, a workout before a race and then race. Day 14 has me doing on the real road and a TT threshold, which I actually was trying to go and steal a KOM from my buddy Chaz. I was thinking, even though I'll get nowhere near the power, I'll be on the TT bike. So I have the aero helmet on, I have everything dialed, and I go out, I think I did 290 watts, which I've done 365 watts on this segment on the road bike, and I was like 10 seconds off my best time. It's crazy, right? But 290 watts for 20 minutes, that was a big achievement for me in that TT position because it's so difficult to hold power. So I was happy with that. This is kind of where the TT structure ends, right? I have one more week. But this is to build now and prep for the stage race. So day 15, just an adventure ride. Went out on the mountain bike, got lost, did a super sick video on it. Day 16, micro bursts on the road bike. So just basically did this little pepper loop and every, I don't know what it was, like 1 minute, just kind of sprint for like 20 seconds. Day 17, yoga, day off. Day 18, leg openers on the road bike and just kind of around my local area. Day 19 has us headed to Chico Stage Race, which I did a circuit race. Felt amazing. I was trying to work for my team, my new team. I was trying to get my sprinters to do something well there. Even though I probably had some of the best legs I've ever had, the result wasn't what we wanted. And a breakaway did get away, which was kind of a bummer. Going into day 2, stage 2, was the road race. And bro, my fitness was amazing. I've never rode so good ever, bro. I smashed an HVMN drink right before, and when I drove to the race, there was just a smashing crosswind. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna blow this field apart from the gun. Now, I was thinking it was very like that someone could get into a breakaway and win the entire stage race on this stage. Like, I was very confident that could be the case. Boom, we go, dude, and I get to the front and just, dude, I did like, well, it was something crazy, like 350 watts for like an hour or something for the very first hour. I actually destroyed the field. The yellow jersey at the time got dropped from the pack. It was crazy. But when we turned the corner and got like with the tailwind, so then essentially everyone came back together and it was like, dang it, dude, that sucks. But then I go really early, right? I'm gonna have to ride like 50 miles, but they gave me a gap. I went with one other guy, and I'm like, dude, me and him, we could do this. He flats instantly, dude. And I'm just like, ah, but they had let me go, and I had gotten such a big gap. It's like, well, dude, I gotta just go full send. And so either A, full glory, okay, I'm gonna do a 50-mile hero ride, and I feel amazing. I think I can do it. But my team now doesn't have to chase. So I've got 2 really good sprinters in the pack. If everyone else blows themselves up to catch me, they'll be fresh as daisies. So I go on this massive hero move, dude. I think I ended up having 5 or 6 minutes on the field at one point. 5 or 6 minutes. Dude, and I had averaged like 330 watts for like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. I was just, but I went all in. And then when we hit the headwind section, the crosswind section, Team Sunflower, dude, they were just rolling so fast. It was so hard. Anyway, I got caught. This day, I roasted my legs, dude. I was trying to go for glory. I could have had a chance to put big time on everyone. It didn't work out, but I went full gas. I was full in. Day comes to do the time trial. I get on the bike, my front tire goes flat. Crap. So then I rush back and I try to switch out my wheel, and the other wheel doesn't fit in the time trial bike. Like what? Like I can't get the brakes to come out wide enough. So then that's not working. So then I have to air up the tire that's going flat and ride quickly to the time trial spot where I can grab one of my teammates' wheels. I thought I knew where I was going. I took a wrong turn. I got completely lost. I had no clue where I was going. My start time is in 10 minutes. I have a flat tire and I'm lost. I finally find it, and I swap out a wheel with my teammate and line up, and I'm just like, dude, I'm full gas. My heart rate's been so elevated because of how stressful this was. I get on the line and bam, I go. I feel really good in the aero position. And so essentially, I hold something around 350 to 330 watts. I paced it pretty good, dude. Paced it really well. I was looking at my average speed. I was looking at my power. Again, I don't really know what power is going to equate to 27 miles an hour, but I keep catching guys. I'm feeling strong. We get into the last kind of straight. I'm giving it everything I have. I'm holding 330 watt average for this whole effort, which is wild, like 30 watts, 40 watts more than I have done previous on this bike. Okay, so we've made huge improvements on the ability to hold watts in this position. And then I crossed the line, and I want to say 27.3, I think something like that, 27.2, 27.3, but I broke 27. I set my new fastest PR for a 10-mile course, and I know that can change depending on the course, but I got 7th, dude. 7th out of 60, which is, for me not being a time trialist, for me not being on my own bike, for me being on a bike that doesn't fit, with only essentially 2 weeks of proper time trial training. And having the day before be the hardest day I've ever done, the biggest performance I've ever done, so my legs are just waxed for this. Holy moly, dude! In a really long about way to answer the question, how fast can I get in 3 weeks of training on the time trial bike? About a mile per hour from 26 to just over 27. Just a little over 1 mile per hour over a 10-mile course. Faster you go, the gains, you know what I mean? To make another 1 mile an hour average difference, there's no way a 2-week program was gonna do that. Or if you were doing this and you started out at 22 mile an hour, there's a good chance you could probably make bigger gains than 1, right? So it's all kind of relative within where your starting point is. But bro, my coach, I gotta give a lot of thanks to him for designing this program, but Zwift was a perfect tool to accomplish this. I would like to get my own TT bike and have it properly fit and put more time into it, because it was a lot of fun. It started off not fun. I hated it. Nowhere to put my balls. But it actually is a totally unique discipline where you can really tweak your equipment and your position, and you make these little tiny gains, and they sort of remain. I don't know. It's neat. You have to give it some time, but once you do, I don't know, I kind of really enjoyed TTs after the 2 weeks. Anyway, hope you enjoy, guys. Vegan Cyclist. Yeah.